Russia, a man is charged with shooting a customer in a Memphis tire shop, and the school board voted in approval of a new rezoning proposal.
That and more coming up.
Welcome to this week's APSU-TV News Update. I'm Diamond Kizer.
And I'm Peay McRoberts with today's news. With an invasion of Ukraine underway, President Biden has announced additional harsh sanctions against Russia, targeting more of Russia's banks and elites. The sanctions sent the Russia stock market and currency plunging. Isabel Rosales reports.
Lights out as darkness falls over Lviv in western Ukraine. The silence, an eerie contrast to a day marked by sirens and explosions as Russia launched a large-scale invasion.
This is a dangerous moment for all of Europe.
Back home, President Joe Biden following through on his promise to impose crushing economic sanctions, including blocking 4 major Russian banks from the U.S. financial system.
Some of the most powerful impacts our actions will come over time, as we squeeze Russians' access to finances and technology.
The Pentagon now ordering 7,000 more troops to Europe.
Our forces are not going to Europe to fight in Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies and reassure those allies in the East.
Across Ukraine, the impacts of war felt deeply. Russian forces attacking several apartment buildings and setting a military school on fire.
You wake up in a totally new reality at 5 a.m. and you find out that the world is no longer the safe place you imagined.
As some attempt to evacuate the country, the U.S. is preparing for a potential refugee crisis.
So we are also working with European countries on what the needs are, where there is capacity.
In Washington, I'm Isabel Rosales.
Prosecutors say a man has been charged with shooting and killing a customer outside a tire shop in Memphis. The Shelby County District's Attorney Office says Jerome Jamison was indicted on first-degree murder charges in the shooting last October at the Brothers Tire Service in Towing. Investigators say Jamison frequently visits the business. Authorities say Jamison began arguing with Milton Davidson and then began firing an assault-style rifle at him. Authorities say Jamison then pulled a handgun from Davidson's waistband and shot him several more times while Davidson was on the ground.
A 14-year-old boy is charged in a deadly crash that claimed 2 people's lives in Memphis. People say the boy was driving when he lost control and hit a utility pole early Monday near Memphis International Airport. 3 passengers were in the car. 2 died and 1 was critically injured. Police say the boy is charged with vehicular homicide, aggravated assault, reckless driving, violation of child curfew, driving without a license, and other offenses. His name has yet to be released due to being a juvenile.
A top Southern Baptist committee has publicly apologized after a sexual abuse scandal. The Southern Baptist Conventional Executive Committee chair made the announcement Tuesday during a meeting in Nashville. The committee says officials did not adequately listen and protect care for Jennifer Lyle when she came forward with her report of abuse by a seminary professor. Instead of stating she had been abused, the SBC's official news source initially reported she was involved in a, quote, morally inappropriate relationship with her former professor. Lyle says she is grateful for the resolution, but it does not repair damage to her reputation. The Southern Baptist Committee has also agreed to a confidential financial settlement for Lyle.
Clarksville police say 2 devastating crashes over President's Day weekend involved drivers who did not buckle up. The wrecks were on Fort Campbell Boulevard at 101st Airborne Parkway on Sunday and at Fort Campbell Boulevard and Jack Miller Boulevard on Monday. Tennessee state law requires drivers and their passengers to wear their seatbelts, and studies show it is safer. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration says you can cut your risk of moderate to critical injury by more than half if you buckle up. Clarksville police will be stepping up seatbelt enforcement in the coming weeks to increase awareness and safety.
My kids put skis on as they were learning to walk. I want my kids to be able to have those moments with their kids. Being a scientist, I'm worried about climate change in so many different ways for my kids. From the second you have a child, you want to do everything to protect them. I think our action on climate change is no different. It's just an extension of being a mom.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
When you want to talk, I'm here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zach Pugh, host of Crunch Time. Join me and my co-host Jahmar Perkins each week here on APSU-TV as we talk about what's going on in the world of sports.
Welcome back to the news. I'm Kinsley with today's Political Corner. Russian troops are on the move right now in Ukraine. Soldiers of the 101st Airborne Division in Fort Campbell have been ordered to head that way to assist with NATO troops. Fort Campbell soldiers are shown in this video from the Defense Department packing up for their deployment. The troops will be working as part of Joint Task Force Dragon. As Vladimir Putin ignored negotiations from NATO to prevent an invasion, the United States and its allies began the first rounds of sanctions on Russia. President Joe Biden warns Russia will face harsh sanctions and the United States will stand prepared to take necessary actions. Fear among local Clarksville families is at an all-time high. Local military families are preparing for their loved ones to be deployed at any moment. This includes our own Austin Peay students and their families. As the situation in Europe continues, the unpredictable future is leaving Clarksville on edge. Big changes are coming to Clarksville and Montgomery County schools. Clarksville now reports that the school board voted 6-1 to approve a new rezoning proposal which would clear the way for new schools to be built. Kirkwood Middle is set to open this fall at Rossview Road and Kirkwood Road. The school will be able to hold over 1,200 students. Plans for a Kirkwood Elementary and High School have already begun. Local public schools conducted by the district show Clarksvillians have big concerns about how the new rezoning measures will affect current students in these districts, along with the extreme bus driver shortage. CMCSS will allow both 7th and 8th graders to remain in their current districts if their family provide their own transportation. However, the bus driver shortage is still an ongoing issue. As we go into our third year of the pandemic, new data from the Center of Disease Control shows COVID-19 is starting to slow down. Tennessee saw a 37% drop in the new coronavirus cases last week. The state reported an average of about 3,100 new infections per day. Montgomery County also reported a decrease in cases. The CDC's COVID-19 tracker confirms Montgomery County saw a 44% decrease in cases, with an average of 847 cases per day last week. Our area is making good progress, but Montgomery County is still labeled as high risk. Precautions such as vaccinations, along with wearing a mask in public, indoor settings are recommended. APSU will be back with the weather after the break.
Can I get the now bar, please?
$1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure.
$1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hi, I'm Dr. Cindy, and I'm here with Asha. What would be the thing that makes you say, you know what, now's the time?
I've been on the fence for a while about whether to get the vaccine or not, based on, things that I've heard, things that I've seen. Seeing those kind of things just gets you a little scared. It's like, I think everybody should have a choice. Could the vaccine possibly affect my ability to have kids in the future?
Here's the real kicker. If someone got COVID-19, the illness, and they were pregnant, their chance of miscarriage goes up by over 3 times as much.
I didn't think about COVID-19 possibly affecting your reproductive system because my mom, she was barely able to have kids. It was a miracle that I was able to be here. It was very important for me to know that, and now I am a lot more secure in getting the vaccine than I was.
Good afternoon. Let's take a look at some of the weather. First, around the country, we want to step out of the way here. As looking at it, New York is at 37, Chicago's at 28, Atlanta's at 39, Dallas is the same, 39, Denver's at 25, Seattle's at 41, and a lot more warmer. Wish it was kind of here in Clarksville, Los Angeles at 63. Moving on to Tennessee weather, Memphis is looking at 39, Clarksville's at 38, Chattanooga's at 53, and Knoxville is 51. Looking at the lows, Memphis is at 30, Clarksville's at 27, Nashville's at 28, Chattanooga's at 34, and Knoxville is at 31. Now, as far as the current temperature goes, we're looking at 35 degrees, wind at northwest going at 9 miles per hour. And tonight is going to be about 27 degrees, winds going at 7 miles per hour, and 10% of precipitation. We know it's been raining a lot often, so hopefully maybe you won't see as much rain tonight. Looking at the 5-day forecast, Friday, we will see the high today, of course, is 38 with a low of 27. Tomorrow it'll be high of 47, low of 33, cloudy. Partly cloudy on Sunday with the high of 52 and a low of 28. Specifically this weekend, looking good for our Austin Peay baseball team as they'll be having some action. Monday it'll be a high of 56, a low of 35, and it'll be a sunny day this upcoming Tuesday, 62 with a low of 36. That is going to do it for the weather. We'll be right back with more APSU-TV news.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's all good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
How is my little birdykins feeling?
Well, I feel okay. My wing hurts a little bit, but that's okay.
I made the decision to get Big Bird vaccinated because COVID vaccines are the best way to keep yourself, our friends and neighbors, and me safe and healthy.
And it'll help me keep playing with my granny bird and all my friends at school.
Yeah.
It's okay to have questions about COVID vaccines for your kids. Get the latest facts by speaking to your pediatrician or healthcare provider.
I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee. Fort Knox, Kentucky. Jackson, Tennessee.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Memphis, Tennessee. Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee. Little Rock, Arkansas. St. Louis, Missouri.
Gaffney, South Carolina.
Seattle, Washington.
Jeremy, Haiti. I'm from Três Pontas, Brazil.
Chicago, Illinois.
Hawaii.
Phoenix, Arizona. Braselton, Georgia. From Modesto, California. I want to be a neonatal nurse. Athletic trainer and accountant.
Playing the NFL.
Interior designer. Physical therapist.
Law enforcement officer.
Ultrasound technician. Social worker.
Physician.
Politician.
Psychologist. CPA.
Social worker.
Nurse practitioner.
Physical therapist.
Restaurant owner.
A politician. Start my own business. Veterinarian.
Elementary school teacher.
NBA player.
Cardiovascular surgeon.
Anesthesiologist.
Businesswoman in Nashville.
Social worker in Miami, Florida.
Politician in Washington, D.C.
Colorado. Orlando, Florida. Houston, Texas.
In Chattanooga.
Memphis, Tennessee. Seattle, Washington. Nashville, Tennessee. San Diego, California.
Nashville, Tennessee.
New York City, New York.
San Diego, California.
Atlanta, Georgia. Nashville. Los Angeles, California.
New York, New York.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Orlando, Florida. Los Angeles, California.
Baltimore, Maryland. Clarksville, Tennessee.
Carolina Beach, Carolina. Philadelphia.
St. Louis, Missouri. Clarksville, Tennessee.
Good afternoon, I'm Jahmar Perkins and welcome inside the Sports Zone. First up, Austin Peay softball has recently started and are currently sitting at 7-3 record and have won their last 3 games with Memphis and Florida Gulf Coast twice. This weekend, the Governors will look to keep their streak going against the likes of IUPUI, North Alabama, and UAB. You will get a chance to see the Govs at home for the first time this season next Friday on March 4th for the Governors Classic. As far as the baseball team goes, they haven't played nearly as many games, sitting at a 2-2 record, and the 2 wins that they got were not anywhere close to just simple wins. Both wins came last week in the Saturday and Sunday games against Boston College in the series after losing Friday. Austin Peay came back from 8 runs to win the game on Saturday and followed that up with a 10-point comeback on Sunday. What a way to start the season off for the Govs, showing that they have the heart and the dedication to go far this year. The Govs are in Clarksville today preparing as we speak to take on Bowling Green in a weekend series, so if you have time to come out, go ahead and check them out. Another spring sport is to start with beach volleyball starting next Friday in the Invitational in Boca Raton, Florida. The reigning and first ever OVC beach volleyball champions were picked to win it again in the preseason poll. Marlena Bullington and Brooke Moore were also selected to the preseason All-OVC team. Moving on, the Governor women's basketball team has continued their up and down second half of the season and with the win and loss this past week. First up, they had their last home game and senior day against Tennessee Tech this past Saturday and won 71-61. Although it was a day about the seniors, they were led by a sophomore and Nina De Leon Negron. She had 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and my favorite stat, 0 turnovers. Just looking at it, there's Nina De Leon Negron right there knocking down a 3. It was an up and down game, really. As you see, Tennessee Tech was kind of hung around the whole contest as they are a good shooting team as well. Looking at a smooth reverse layup right there from Nina De Leon Negron. As we see again, that was another shot from Nina De Leon Negron as a buzzer beater to go into halftime. And like we said, Tennessee Tech kind of stuck around, but it was good execution from Austin Peay to really be able to knock it down. Another 3 right there from Shaylee Kirby. But last night was not as fun for the Governors as they fell to SIUE in a coincidental same score of 71-61. This was a game that Austin Peay was heavily favored in, but they just didn't show up to the table. The Govs will look to take on their final regular season opponent in Eastern Illinois tomorrow at 1. Moving on, the teams have been playing a pretty solid basketball, men's team, should I say, have been playing pretty solid basketball lately, winning 4 out of their last 6 games. Like the women, they have gone 1-1 this past week, starting last Saturday in a tight matchup, losing 73-69 against Tennessee Tech. Looking at the clips, Tennessee Tech really showed up. They were really performing as far as at the three-point line, really being able to execute. And then you look at Austin Peay, they were shooting threes as well. And I think that's kind of a tendency that we've seen from Austin Peay as they kind of live and die by the three. Here's another three from Tariq Silver. He's been shooting really well this season. But I think it was really just kind of struggling in the inside game for Austin Peay, as we see an inside layup right there for Tennessee Tech. But we definitely saw some fight. We saw some grit from Austin Peay. But like you see, another three-point shot. Once again, most of these highlights for Austin Peay are three-point shots. A nice pump fake right there from Tennessee Tech. But last night, the men didn't let SIUE complete the full men's and women's sweep as they beat the Cougars in another overtime game on January 31st. Austin Peay beat SIUE in a double overtime game, 68-63. Last night there was only one needed extra period as it was a 68-64 win. Caleb Stone-Carewell played amazing in the game with career highs in points with 24 and assists with 6. Like the women, they will take on Eastern Illinois this Saturday for the last game of the regular season. I do want to mention the football standings. As you know, I know it's early, but the football season is coming up this fall, and we want to take a look at the schedule. I know Western Kentucky will be the kickoff game on August 27th, and you look at some of the conference games against Eastern Kentucky, Central Arkansas, Jacksonville State, North Alabama State, and Kennesaw. Cannot fail to mention we are playing that team from Callaway County in Kentucky, Murray State. Hopefully we can get the game there. Really nice to see that rivalry continue as well. And then, of course, our last game, what I like to call the money game, a game against the Roll Tide in Alabama, last game of the regular game of the season. That'll be an interesting matchup as well. But lastly, I want to talk about the Gov of the Week. And this week, the Gov does her work on the sideline. First-year head coach Brittany Young has been a great addition to the Austin Peay athletics program and has led the team to an 18-9 record and an 11-6 record in the conference. With 11 wins on the OVC, that's third in the APSU record books, and this also is the 5th straight winning season for the Governors. So a big congratulations to Coach Brittany Young and her team. And that's going to do it for sports. Once again, I'm Jahmar Perkins, and we'll be right back with more APSU-TV news.
Great having you. Incredible women. I wish they had those kind of cool careers for women when we were growing up.
So in this flashback, we're all the same age?
Yeah.
What does everyone want to be when they grow up?
If I say 2 jobs, do I get extra credit?
No.
I want to make immersive video games. I want to revolutionize 3D printing. I want to analyze data from the cloud.
I want to be a meteor.
You mean meteorologist?
No.
That's great, Al. Follow your dreams.
For the record, I was a baby in the 70s.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
I said we mix it up. Mix up the diversity. I'll stand next to B.
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
She told her what I said. I stand there. Really good.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zach Peay, host of Crunch Time. Join me and my co-host Jahmar Perkins each week here on APSU-TV as we talk about what's going on in the world of sports.
Those Jurassic Park films have quite a few inaccuracies, believe it or not. APSU is going to dig into them on March 1st. Is coming to have the opportunity to prepare work as if they were in an orchestra or in an individual section. The high school students will get an opportunity to get hands-on experience with some of our awesome music faculty and learn more about the Music Mass Communications building.
Next week will kickstart Women's Empowerment Week here at APSU. The Girls Programming Council and a host of other organizations will begin to celebrate on Monday, February 28th with food and empowering speakers and free giveaways. Photo opportunities are on the agenda as well as a chance to connect with influential women on campus. This event starts at 11 in the morning and ends at 1 in the afternoon. Some big money to help fund an engineering scholarship for minority students at the Big Orange. University of Tennessee at Knoxville received a donation of $10 million from Dwight Hutchins of the informational technology company Accenture. This donation will support the Fred D. Brown Jr. Minority Engineering Scholarship. Hutchins is stationed in Singapore as Asia Pacific Managing Director of Strategy Consulting Practice for Products of Accenture. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in engineering from UT Knoxville in 1986. Hutchins was a member of the scholarship program that supports engineering students from historically underestimated populations. He went on to earn a Master's of Business Administration from Northwestern University and a Master in Public Administration from Harvard University.
Fisk University is adding 3 social fellowships under a new program. The new program is to commemorate the late Congressman John Lewis. The fellowships fall under the school's John Lewis Center for Social Justice, founded in 2019. The Historically Black Universities Fellowship will focus on policy and activism, arts and culture, technology, and data science. These fellowships are supported through the Charles and Lynn Schusterman Family Philanthropies. When Lewis was a college student at Fisk University, he helped desegregate public spaces in Nashville and push for racial justice across the South. Lewis served as a Georgia congressman before his death almost 2 years ago at 80 years old.
A basketball player's three-point defies the laws of physics and a live reporter gets photobombed by his own mom. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
A Virginia high school basketball player found a way to turn a blowout loss upside down.
Did he just do a backflip?
Christchurch senior Evan Randall went in the game's final moments with his team down by 40 points.
I wanted to make a memorable moment for myself as a senior. I used to be a cheerleader, so backflips was like a second nature to me.
Randall's coach said with the game well out of hand, he encouraged his players to leave it all on the court.
He literally took what I said. Just have fun, and he had fun.
The teen's acrobatic bucket has gone viral, even nabbing an ESPN shout-out, but for Randall, it was all about the memories.
And I'm definitely gonna remember this.
You can always count on Mom to be Mom.
This is my mom, hold on.
WSYX reporter Miles Harris learned this the hard and hilarious way when his attempt at a live shot in Columbus, Ohio was interrupted by his proud mama who was just passing by.
I'm trying to work right now.
The cackling you hear is coming from cameraman D'Angelo Bird, who captured the embarrassing and endearing scene.
Did you record that?
Recorded and posted online, where the clip went viral, catapulting this dynamic duo into the national spotlight, catching the eye of multiple network talk shows.
I won't tell any dirt if I can get my mixer back. And he uses my mixer, and then I don't see it for 6 months.
Like I said, you can always count on Mom to be Mom. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at APSU-TV Clarksville and Instagram at APSU_TV. Thank you for watching APSU TV News Update, and as always, let's go Peay.
That was good.